Getting the most from JP Morgan Week 2018 webinar from the BIA. My name's Steve Bates, I'm the Chief Exec here, and the objectives of today's webinar are to give you an outline of what's happening at the 2018 event with the key events from a UK perspective. This is primarily aimed at people travelling from the UK and what you need to know if you're going to San Francisco, either as a regular or as a first timer. And I hope that 10 to 15 minutes here will save you time as you prepare for a busy week of the year, give you some broader perspectives. So if you've not been before, people call us to JP Morgan Week, but in fact it's several conferences in San Francisco in the first working week of January. JP Morgan conference is invite only, largely the biggest pharmaceutical companies presenting financial information and their perspective on the year to an analyst community. But there are a number of other conferences, including the Biotech Showcase, which has grown in recent years and has some new elements to it this year. There is a conference called the East-West CEO Conference, which is the weekend before. Some people go to that. And Redefining Early Stage Investments is also allied to this period of time. I think the key thing that sometimes people, that's different for this conference to other conferences, is that much of the action really takes place in private, in hotel suites taken by venture capitalists who are looking to meet with companies that they are considering investing in. And these meetings are privately organised. They're not formally inside any conference, but they are often back to back and very geographically proximate. And what they can also do is that means that there's a large scene of people who come out in the evening, go to the networking, who have been involved in private things you won't have seen at JP Morgan or a Biotech Showcase, in addition to the standard partnering that you see at Biotech Showcase if you've been used to Bio Europe, or the formal company presentations you see at JP Morgan. It is worth going, and I think if you've never been, you'll just be amazed at the buzz that there is within a few blocks of Union Square, and it's important to make sure that you stay out in the evening because the reception scene is a key part of a few days out in San Francisco. I would say that you don't have to be able to go into JP Morgan conference itself to have a successful week, particularly if you're an earlier stage company. To get the most out of it, you do need to know what you're doing and have your diary filled, either in the standard way of having partnering times filled, and be able to do your organization's goals in an elevator pitch, because you never know who you're going to bump into, who's going to be in the bar, who else is around. Social time is a good time to meet people, whether they be friends from the UK or new contacts from around the globe. And phone chargers and business cards and shoes you can walk in, as with all conferences, make this much easier. Biotech Showcase, a couple of things for those, many UK BIA companies tend to take a ticket to Biotech Showcase. It's a sense of partner event, an EBD group event similar to, and Demicolton similar to Bio Europe. 2 new additional programs this year. There's a China Showcase and a DigiMed and MedTech Showcase. We'll find out how they are running. They've expanded from just using what has traditionally been their home for the past few years, the Park 55 Hotel, to using the Hilton San Francisco Union Square. So this is expanding, and the partnering system and the one-to-one networking system will be in operation if you want to make the chance to meet one-to-one. There is a discount of $350 on ticket for ULS members available through Bio Partner for this, and that includes BIA member companies. As I say, it's all within a few blocks of downtown San Francisco. In the JP Morgan conference, you'll see the JP Morgan conference here ragged out as being in the western San Francisco, straight onto Union Square, and just south of there, between there and Market Street, which is the main street through downtown San Francisco, you see the Hilton San Francisco Union Square and Park 55. That's where Biotech Showcase and additional programming are, and the Biotech Showcase main section is now moved to the Hilton San Francisco, literally around the corner. And we'll put on this map the UK networking event on Monday at 7 o'clock. I'll talk more on it in a minute. The Metropolitan Club, which is literally 2 blocks over from the main action at JP Morgan. So hopefully you can see it's all very proximate and located easily for you. This year, the UK effort has focused on what's called a special program at the Biotech Showcase, and that's because we're focusing on generation genome and the industrial strategy, leveraging UK leadership in genomics, which doesn't fit precisely with the core focus of the Biotech Showcase, but I think it is something that the UK has particular added advantage to, and that's why it's here as a special program. And this is what we've put the effort with colleagues into organising as the UK talk of a few days, and some more detail on that. And then I'm also joined by Professor Joanne Hackett, the Chief Commercial Officer of Genomics England. So you can see the event will be in Park 55 Hotel, which is the hotel which has the additional programs for Biotech Showcase in it. It's on Monday afternoon, 2 to 2:45, so a good slot. And as you can see, there's a great panel here: Elliot Foster, MedCity, and Immunocore. So John Chiversam, Professor Joanna Hackett, who you'll hear from in a sec, Nick Leach of Congenica, Brandy Davis Dewsbury of Seven Bridges, and some other great UK companies. So with Joanne on, perhaps Joanne, I can ask you to give your sense as to why people would find it useful to come to this event, and a flavour of this. And I know you've got some thoughts around and some info around Genomics England as well.
Yes, great. Thanks, Steve. So yeah, I'm really pleased to be able to be part of this. I think it's really important and exciting time for the UK. Lots of people are talking about how they're wanting to realize the potential of genomics, but really and truly, the UK has been doing this now and is world leading for the last couple of years. So I'm quite pleased that we've got some of the really interesting companies in the UK that specialize in a variety of different aspects of genomics who are able to join us on this panel. And one of the things that I think is really important for people to realize is the fact that Genomics England actually is a private commercial company, and we currently have the largest number of whole genomes with associated clinical data in the world. We're not just sitting here hoping to gather more and more genomes and do nothing with it. We actually want you to actually let us help you use that data to find out lots of interesting things that you're going to be wanting to do in your own companies. So we're here today to tell you a little bit more about that, and we're going to be at the event to be able to hopefully be able to work with you to help you realize the power of this unique data set. So as I said, Genomics England, we're already moving to make a mainstream genomics medicine service a reality in the UK, and we are fully aware that realizing this potential demands more, as this transformation can really only take place with deep industry partnerships in place. So everybody talks about genomics and the potential of it, but the time for talking about that is actually in the past. The UK is here to talk business and to forge partnerships on an industrial scale. So we're going to be there, and we hopefully will be able to meet with lots of companies, and you'll be able to hear about how some of those companies on the panel are actually working with our data set to be able to really and truly revolutionize the healthcare system.
And I think looking at your really useful slide here, one of the things that I've learned in recent months is that there are in fact many moving parts of genomics, with different companies specializing in different areas of this. And I think, as you say, the UK does have global relevance and leadership in many of the capabilities here. And I think one of our tasks in January will be to explain that to the world, that actually there's quite a lot of real capacity under the skin of this headline, and having the industrial heft of Genomics England having done some of the heavy lifting in terms of and having a healthcare system that's on board, and along for this, having done some of the pioneering work in making this happen in a real world environment, gives us a competitive advantage, and that's certainly what we'll be looking to sell and promote this year in JP Morgan Week. So thanks, Joanne. Of course, BIA members are doing their normal thing. A great range of companies that are presenting at the Biotech Showcase. If you're going, please go along and support, see the other companies from the UK. They'll all have their slots, and they're all in the programme. Here's a list of the ones that we are aware of. If you're presenting but we haven't got you on the list here, please drop us an email, and we will make sure that we retweet your presentation or your coverage during the week. And likewise, some of the BIA's bigger members, some of the global players, as well as important UK players like Oxford Immunotech, are actually on the JP Morgan agenda. So we'll make sure that if there's news from any of those that is significant, we'll make sure that people are in the loop and aware. Now, moving on from the day to the evening, of course, one of the most important things of any JP Morgan week is the networking. And this year, we've come together with the Department for International Trade, Scottish Enterprise, MedCity, and others to make sure that there is a UK networking event. So it's a United UK networking event this year. It's on the Monday evening between 7 and 9 in the evening at the Metropolitan Club on Sutter Street, which is a great location. If you want to come, it's possible to register to attend at this Eventbrite address at the bottom here. And we look forward to seeing you there. It was a good night last time round. And again, we hope to be able to bring UK colleagues plus global community interested in the UK together on the Monday evening, at least for summer Monday evening, whilst people are popping around the myriad of events that are on. So Monday evening, 7 till 9, Metropolitan Club. Look forward to seeing you there. If you're a first timer, another thing I can suggest if you're interested in further networking is to download the MacDougall Biomedical Communications reception list. I found this a very useful document, and this is the link to it. It lists all of the private events around the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference by date and time. I've just ragged out a page here to show you the Tuesday early evening sessions. You can see they do it by day and location, and you can there's also a category of how hard it is to get in. So I think this is a useful one, and it's one that I've used. It doesn't have everything in it, but it has a good smattering. And if you have relationships with any of these, often law firms or VCs or have aspirations to, they can be the good way for getting in, and you may actually bump into some other people. The BioCentury Distillery Reception, co-sponsored by Bio, Hogan Lovells, etc., is well known on the Tuesday evening, and maybe one to consider. As it's all going on very rapidly in San Francisco, I always find that you can find out more really by looking at Twitter, because you can't be everywhere at all times getting all the big announcements. Perhaps if there's a merger deal or somebody is announcing a new division or some such, the type of things you see as the headlines. Twitter is a useful place to do that. Hashtag JPM18 is the JP Morgan one, and Biotech Showcase is hashtag BTS18. Maybe worth putting those in your feed before you travel. And being a Brit, I like trains, so I always find that for me, getting from the airport to the city, the BART train is quicker than almost anything, and cheaper, and deposits you right in the centre of town. There are tourist passes for buses and trains, but I always find a Clipper card, if you want to get out and about, is useful, but certainly for getting downtown from the airport into downtown is the useful way. Brits will be around and about. You'll bump into people on Union Square, some friendly faces, no doubt, at Heathrow if you're flying direct. Will be on the plane, so the networking can start usually on the Saturday or the Sunday on the way out, and I look forward to seeing you there. So that's as much as we're going to do today. Other dates for your diary as we go into 2018. We have the BIA Gala Dinner on the 25th of January, the third Thursday of January. If you've not made the trip to San Francisco, or you enjoy the networking so much you want to see the British community together, that's the night of the year to do it. We have a few individual seats available, but we are pretty much sold out. We've got some Brexit briefings in through February, up in Scotland in March, and as well as a new event with the chief medical officers in Welcome and in Cambridge towards the end of March. And a new event we've just confirmed is an annual lecture, an evening with Sir David Cooksey, who's going to reflect on how he's seen the sector grow, change, and some of the challenges we may have for the future at what should be an enjoyable and convivial evening at the Crick. Obviously, one of the things that was a twinkle in Sir David's eye many years ago as we get into May. So I hope you've got a good sense of what you can achieve from JP Morgan. That's given you a good sighter. Look forward to seeing you at the Genomics panel on the Monday afternoon at 2. Do come to the UK reception 7 till 9 on the Monday evening. Look out for UK companies presenting, and have a great week. And if we don't see you in San Francisco, look forward to seeing you at one of these events going forward. Thank you very much.